All right. We're whew, running. So happy you guys are with us. And we have our intro coming here. Normally we have our rolling intro, and little late start, but we're getting it going. We got a great show. I'm excited. We've got a lot of updates when it comes to our tournament. For the West Conference Championships, we have our special guest, Jeff Blair, is going to be joining us today, not only to talk about the updates with the West Coast or the West Conference Championship, but also when it comes to the some cool tips that I'm excited to hear about when it comes to his new venture. He's always, I say new venture, dude's always been in shape, always lifted, and I know he's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to not only lifting, but supplements and everything about, your personal, your fitness. And so I'm excited to be able to have him on, to be able to answer some of those fitness questions, workout routines. And I'd like to have him back to be able to highlight some different aspects of that personal training that he's getting into, or that he's into now, as far as since retirement. We've also got some special announcements coming up with the tournaments. So I'm excited to get the show on the road. My partner in crime is going to be joining us. I know he has to pop in a little late, but that's all right. In fact, I'm going to bring let's see what we got. Let me bring Jeff on real quick. Jeff, I'm going to have him. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Enjoying Southern California, my friend, sitting in the backyard.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what, I've got these videos that are coming up, and one of them that I like is that you're working out outside, man. It looks nice, dude. What a way to switch it up, man, because most of us here don't have any type of outdoor type of facility to be able to lift at. So other than CrossFit gyms, we really don't have that, man. And that's one of those things that California offers people, man. It looked really cool.
Yeah. Lifetime Fitness. It's a national chain, but they're so financed. They moved everything outside during the pandemic. I mean, just the other day I was there. Mike Tyson was working out there.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you. So we have Lifetime Fitnesses here. We have two of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, man, they're huge. Got everything you need, man. The indoor pools, the outdoor pool for the kids. I mean, it is cool. And the Spurs are working out there. I mean, anyone that's who's who when it comes to the town, man, they're out there at Lifetime. So that's cool, man. Yeah, it's cool that you're there. Well, I know Joe's going to be joining us here soon, so I think we're going to get that show on the road. What's going on, Andreas? How you doing, brother? Thank you for tuning in and always supporting. And then my wife, Texas is too humid too. We love Lifetime Fitness. It is pretty humid, especially here recently. But what I do like about it is, man, you want a good sweat. Yeah, you got it here in Texas.
You don't need a warm up.
No, we're good to go. So yeah, man. Well, let's get this show on the road. Hopefully, Joe will be able to join us here soon, and let's go ahead and roll it. Let's catch you here in a second, Jeff. All right. Get this show on the road, baby. It's June the 10th, 2021. This is the Police Softball Podcast. I am Trinidad, and I'm excited to be able to be here today. This is my therapy. Police softball is one of my ways of dealing with the stresses that come with everyday life, to include our careers. So I love to do this. It's an absolute joy to be here and to have you guys tuning in. So thank you guys for joining me again. I'll tell you what, we do have my partner in crime that was able to sign on. So before we go there, I'll let you know who I am for those that may be tuning in for the first time. My name is Trinidad. I am a U.S. Air Force veteran, 23-year law enforcement veteran, 2-time cancer survivor, a franchise business owner of a great company called Biotex. It's a crime and trauma scene cleaning company. Real excited to be able to be someone that, along with my retirement, like Jeff, our special guest, is able to provide people with something that's extremely important to them in their lives. And we help people in some of the most critical times in their lives with the company that we have. We franchised in San Antonio. We're here based out of San Antonio. We're in Dallas, Austin, and Houston. We also am a founder of a nonprofit called Shields for Kids. It's an organization of officers who go out and provide for kids in the community that are in need. We go out and, we are on our own dime and on our own time to be able to provide for these families and for these children. So I'm very proud of our organization, Shields for Kids. As far as police softball is concerned, I'm the coach of our San Antonio Law men's competitive team. We won a couple of national titles. Very, very happy to be a Chevy Wright Sportsman of the Year within our PS.com circuit, our police softball circuit, which, by the way, if you have not gone to check out the policesoftball.com site, you need to, man, because that's where you keep in touch with everything that's going on in our law enforcement softball circuit. I'm a Pat Hill Inspiration Award winner, the Texas Police Athletic Foundation and PS.com Hall of Fame inductee, and starting second baseman for the Louisville Sluggers. That's a good one. We added that one. Very nice. Very nice. So that's who I am in a nutshell. I'm going to bring on my co-host here, Mr. Joe Monahan. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man?
Happy you could join us, dude. Happy you could join us.
Barely made it, man. Barely made it. Good to be here.
Yeah, brother. It's always happy to have you, man. Joe is the coach of the Missouri Lawmen. He is the Show Me Classic director. He is a Louisville Slugger Masters Division coach, the East Conference Manager of the Year, and most importantly, my friend. So, hey, Joe, your big, beautiful eyes are glistening with that light coming in your window. Very nice.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
See, I didn't say your head's glistening. I said your eyes are glistening.
You're supposed to talk to me like that in private, not on the podcast.
That's it to the world, Joe. I'm not going to keep it inside any longer. Now I'm going to keep it between us anymore. So, hey, man. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm excited about the show today. We went over earlier what we were going to be doing, and along with our special guest, Jeff, the Swami Blair. I'm excited to have him on, man. And like we talked about, we're going to be highlighting the West Conference Championships. We're going to be highlighting the St. Louis Show Me Classic, the Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships. And then we're going to be going into we're going to have those updates on those tournaments, but then we're also going to be getting into personal training tips from Jeff. We know that he's now turned into that. It's a passion of his, and he's chosen to do that outside of, retiring from law enforcement. So I'm excited, man, to get some tips. I want to give a shout out to Andreas. Thanks for joining us again, brother. My wife, Audrey. We've got Mark Jackson. What's going on, Mark? That's what I'm talking about. See you in a few weeks. Yeah. So let's see here. Tell you what, Mark, I think we're planning on playing golf on, what did we talk about? Joe, what did they say?
Some of the guys were talking Friday, some were talking Sunday. Now that's moved to a one-day tournament. So
yeah, yep. So I'm excited.
Both days.
Yeah, and I know Jeff was talking about there being a little golf, possibly a golf outing. I'm not sure if that ended up, coming together or not. But if not, I'll tell you what.
I think that's planned for the day prior to the West Coast Conference.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll check that.
I think that's Wednesday.
Yeah, that'll work. All righty. So we will talk to him.
What's
maybe
up, Audrey?
Get some insight Get some insight on that. Andrea says, J-Mo, where's the long sleeve dress shirt and tie?
I just took it off. I could have left it on, I guess.
Now. As quickly as you came in?
I replaced it with this shirt. I don't know if you can read that there. You read that
nice.
there, Trini?
That's the Lucky Beaver there.
Yeah.
Reno.
So my boy Frank T hooked it up when he was up in Reno and he grabbed me one. Because we were talking about it and I forgot to grab a T-shirt the second time we went there when we were up in Reno, and he helped me out. So I appreciate that, Frank.
Yeah, man. That was a good place. I liked it. I liked it. Everything about Reno was really nice, man. I liked it a lot. All right. What's going on, Lou? How you doing, brother?
Big Lou.
Yeah, man. He was in that home run derby, man, I was behind that net and I was trying to get some video, but the net kept getting in the way. And, but dude, I was a little nervous back there. When that dude hits the ball, man, I don't know if that net, I was not comfortable with that net. That's all I'll say when Lou got up there.
You saying Lou doesn't have control over his swing? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I know that he would not go up the middle with me there. I know that, but I was still scared. Yeah,
it's
man.
a home run. It's a home run derby, man. They're trying to hit it 500 feet. There's nothing to be scared about.
Well, some guys didn't hit any out.
Yeah, I know. Guys like me, I get it. I saved it for the games when it meant something, Trini.
And 100% you did, dude. You showed up on that tournament. No joke, man. I was impressive, man. Awesome. Hey, Ruben, what's going on, man? Can't wait to watch the Masters. Only 1 year away from playing. Hope it isn't done. I hope not either, man. You know, it's difficult, and I understand how difficult this can be for a director, you know. I hope not either, man. Let's see what we got. Mark says Lucky Beaver in Lake Tahoe is also an awesome place next time you head out this way. Yeah, man. Nice. I like that place, man. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get the show on the road. One thing I want to tell everybody is that, shout out to Deanna, behind the scenes hustle on the days. He's always rooting for Deanna to get a raise. I'm always rooting for her to get a raise also. Well, I'll tell you what, I just want to announce that this episode of the Police Softball Podcast is sponsored by Elite Sports. Very happy to have them as a sponsor of the show. We got Los and Ryan out there and the whole Elite Sports USA crew, man. They came out to the last tournament over in Waxahachie to our Keepers of the Peace tournament, man, and it was awesome. And thank you guys so much. Got a little something coming up for them here later on in the show. But let's start this thing off with our happy birthday, man, to Bobby Lambert. Bobby, what's going on, man? Let's see here. We got...
do we have an age for Bobby? I mean, I know he looks like he's 30 years old, but do we know how old he is?
I don't know, but that's a good question. Maybe somebody out there knows and will let us know. But we do want to say happy birthday to Bobby Lambert, man. Happy to have that dude as a part of our circuit, man. Class act. We got to hang out in St. Louis, but not as long as I wanted to, man. I showed up a little late, but it was cool, man. Let's see here. Now, tell you what, Joe, what we're going to do is we're going to bring on Jeff. Ollie, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Thank you for joining us again. I'll tell you what, we're going to bring Jeff on, and we're going to talk about this West Conference Championship. So let's bring the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, brother?
Hey, guys.
Jeff, what's up, man?
Enjoying Southern California, man. I'm sitting in my backyard. I got my West Conference shirt on one side, and I got the my personal training shirt on the other. So advertising.
Dude, he looks so comfortable. It does not look like there's any humidity there at all.
No, it's nice, man. It's like 72 and dry and warm.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Jeff Blair, like I said, man, he really is, one of these guys that when you talk about police softball, we got Dale and we got Jeff. These guys had that vision to be able to put this circuit together. And we'll highlight him, man. 31 years in law enforcement, retired deputy chief of the Tustin Police Department over there in beautiful California. PS.com co-founder, again, with Dale Pickney. 4-time Majors Division champion, 2-time Masters Division champion, 2013 PS.com Hall of Fame inductee. Yeah, man. And now, personal trainer. And I'll tell you what. Oh, nice. It worked. So let's bring this up. We're gonna roll his his link right there on the bottom of the deal. But I don't know if you all are, whoever's tuning in from California, you probably already know about Jeff and his commitment to fitness and his passion for it. But now he's got JeffBlairPersonalTraining.com. Make sure you go visit him. Check. And he's guaranteed to add at least 20 feet to your swing. What he said, it's personal guarantee. Hey, well, we'll say hi real quick to Mario Foster. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Nice of you to tune in. Yeah, man. I can't wait. I want to have him on the show sometime really soon. All right, and look at this, Jeff. Nice. Yeah. Well, I'll
I got
tell
a
you
lot
what.
of time, man. I got a lot of time on my hands.
Jeff, you look like you're constantly in a flexing position.
I'm trying to relax. I don't know how do you do it on? I'm on like TV. How do you relax?
I think he's got one of those little things with his feet. We can't see it, but he's got one of those
I'm
little cycle
exercising.
things going on. Hey, man. Well, I'll tell you what. There you go.
Let's be
Well,
real
I'll tell
here.
you- yeah, man. So let's get into it. So we've got the West Conference Championship, and if you don't know about it, it's going to be going on here really soon. And we got a little flyer here to just kind of give people a quick update on it. Now, is that Poway? Is that how you pronounce that?
Poway.
Poway. Okay, Poway. Yeah, man. So that's coming up here, June 24th, 25th. I know that Joe is going to have our team there, the Masters team, the Louisville Sluggers. But we do have an open tournament, which, by the way, Jeff, I know that we had somebody who's in need of a player. Let's give that team a quick shout out and just see if there's anyone that might be available, that's interested. I know that there are some teams. You can get a hold of Jeff or myself here after the show, but in the end, there are some teams that might need some players, man, for this tournament. So yeah, if you want, you're interested in playing, maybe you give your position, team you play for, something like that, and we'll see if somebody ends up needing a player, man, they'll shout it out. So let's get to it, man. Jeff, real quickly, we're gonna highlight the teams, okay, in the tournament. And, hey, comment like you like.
All right.
Let's bring these teams up. All right, here we go.
So you want me to go ahead and start commenting on them as I'll go 1
Yeah,
through
man.
24?
Yeah,
Okay.
whoever you want, whatever you want. It's cool.
Okay, so Connection, they're obviously a majors team. And at this point, I would I'm shooting from the hip here, but I have them as the odds-on favorite to win it. They're the hottest team in the West right now. They're not hurting for bodies. It appears they have their full lineup. So if I was going to be wagering, I would wager on Connection. Silver Stars, another majors team. They're in their own backyard, so they have the home field advantage. As a matter of fact, shout out to those guys because they are hosting the players. So we combine with them to kind of co-host this thing. They're going to host the players party, which is going to be Thursday night, free beer, all kinds of stuff. They have like a warehouse, like the police unions rented a warehouse out, and they converted it into like a banquet hall type thing. So shout out to those guys. They'll be a majors team. Shot callers, up and coming majors team. They're all LAPD guys, which is really interesting. As a single agency team, they still compete with the big boys. West Coast Lawmen, they'll be in the gold division. That's I think Shane Roach, but I have not confirmed this, but I'm almost certain they picked up a certain Brad Johnson to pitch for them from Kansas. Brad, do we know that for sure, Trini? Did you hear that?
I know Brad's going to be there. I don't know he never told me what team he was playing.
All right, I just let the cat out of the bag, so that just propelled him up a couple notches. Because the last time he came out as a guest in the West Conference tournament or the West Coast tournament, he played for Stanislaus, and they won the gold division, I believe, on that particular weekend. So Nitro to go, unless something changes, I'm going to have those guys down in the gold division, which automatically makes them one of the top teams. I mean, they've been playing majors and mid-majors for the past few years, struggling for bodies a little bit this year, so I'll talk to Lyle, but I got room in the gold division. SoCal Riot, a gold division team that's been one of the most consistent teams in the entire nation since the advent of PS.com. On any given year, I think they've won the gold division in the West Conference before on a couple occasions. They've moved up to mid-majors before and then dropped back down to gold. So they'll be in the running for the gold. Obviously, the Hounds, I'm not sure. I think I have them ranked number 2 in the nation right now. Maybe number 3. They're probably number 2. But whatever, Jimmy, he's not – if anybody who understands this whole police softball thing, that guy travels the nation with his team, and he's creating memories for the guys. And he is like a throwback to the way police softball used to be. He's just awesome. So I assume they're going to be, one of the final 3 teams alive on Saturday. Central Valley Kings, that's Joe Mestris's original team. Joe's a Hall of Famer. He around the time that PS.com started, he brought CV Kings out. Since then, he went through many different teams, and he's returned to his roots. They'll be a top gold team. The LAPD Blue is the most perplexing team in the nation to me because on paper they could beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, every guy on that they could beat.
Wow.
Well, I don't know who the top team is right now in softball, but let's assume it's like the old days of Resmondo. I think LA Blue might beat them, But the thing is, though, like on any given day, Braun's like, I need three guys. He's got 25 guys on the roster. They're the 25 best guys in the nation, and he's hurting to get 10 to the point where last tournament down in San Diego, he had I think Snyder's dad had to play to give him 10, or he was asking me to play. My concern with those guys is that they're a one-trick pony, and that is the World Series. And I think that they only care about the World Series. But here's the problem is all those guys that are these stud ball players, if they only play one time a year, they're not going to be the player they were a year ago when they were playing every weekend. So, I mean, clearly they're going to be one of the top teams, but we'll see if they even get 10 guys. I mean, Braun's got to really pull these guys together. Northwest Shakedown out of Seattle, a Bill Judd's team. I think a couple years ago they came out. They finished in third. They made it all the way to the undefeated game and then lost 2 in a row. They're not the team they used to be. They're younger. So I think that they're more athletic. But I don't think they were accustomed to losing that game because then it put them in a tailspin. So, they'll be a gold division contender. State 48, that's a majors team. That's the combination of Arizona Ablaze and that Goodyear team. So it'd be really, really good. What hurts them is 2 of the best players in Arizona playing a California team. You got Matt Fox, who was a USSSA conference guy playing for the DEA, and the pitcher Jason Brennan, who's pitching for the DEA. Take those 2 guys and put them on State 48. Now they're in discussion to win this thing. But we'll see how they do here. Gold Combo is a local team run by Rick Munder. They're another team that, on paper, they look great, and he's always struggling to get guys out there. They'll beat the team they shouldn't beat, and then they'll lose to the team they should beat. They're completely unpredictable, which makes them a team nobody wants to play. Utah Metro, they've won this before in the gold division. They'll be in the gold division. I assume they're going to be strong. What helps them is likely they'll bring some of the Colorado guys from Angel Armor, which is what they've done in the past, and that makes them a much stronger team. LAPD Gray is a new LAPD team, not to be confused with the old LAPD Gray, who was a Masters team. This is more of a young and upcoming team in the gold division. BP Arsenal, obviously a majors team. They're mid-majors. Are they the defending champions? They might be. No, maybe 2 years ago they were the defending mid-majors champions. They're the defending 40 and over champions. These guys are a single agency team. It's all Border Patrol agents. So they'll be in the mix. We already know about DEA Combo. There's not much more to say about those guys. They're deep. The one thing with those guys, as deep as they are, many of their core players have all kinds of different issues going on. I think Nate just got promoted to homicide detective, so he's on call every weekend, and guys have injuries and whatnot. So I did hear that Matt Fox is coming, though. Mixed Nuts is a LA-based team. I think a lot of those guys are probation officers from LA. They used to play just locally in the Guns and Hoses tournaments, but they surprised the heck out of us last year in the World Series. They went really deep in the gold division. Riverside Forest is a sleeper. There'll be a mid-majors team, majors team. So this weekend there'll be a majors team. In the World Series, I mean, they might be the best mid-majors team going. They're a single agency team. It's George Reyes. It's some of those conference players that used to play on LAPD Blue. Really good. As a matter of fact, LA Blue, they beat LA Blue in San Diego in the opening round of the playoffs, and LA Blue came back and beat them, and they split the championship. So Sin City Saints is a lot like the old Sin City combo team. A lot of the same guys. They got some older guys, some younger guys. What they don't have is they don't have the Keith Habig and some of those guys that kind of anchored those Vegas teams in past years. So they'll be in the gold division. And because they're in gold, they used to play in the mids. They'll be one of the favorites to win gold. And then NorCal Impact, they made a huge statement this year early. They're beating some of the more established NorCal teams, definitely a gold team. I know they're sitting on 10 guys right now, so they'd probably like to add a guy, but they're really going out of their way to be involved in the circuit and really getting their name established out there. And when we so after this tournament, we're going to redo the rankings, and obviously they'll be involved, and they're going to be somewhere in the gold mix in the rankings. So yeah, that's 22.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, impressive. I love it. And with the river, I think you said Riverside. Is that right?
Riverside Sheriff. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have they been in the circuit?
So the way back when PS.com started, there was 2 Riverside teams. There was Riverside Red and Riverside Black. The red team was run by like the higher ups in the agency, and the black team was all the young kids. And the black team was like George Reyes and Ray G and all these names you're familiar with now. Well, the red guys got together and said, hey, young guys, if you want the weekends off and stuff, you need to come join our team. So they combined and became Riverside Red. And in the early World Series days, 05, 06, 07, they were in the mix because this is before majors and gold and stuff. They were in the mix, period. So they were in the mix with the top teams. And then I think one of the main guys, the coach who was maybe the undersheriff or something, ended up retiring. Guys drifted off in different directions. You had on any given tournament, you'd have 10 Riverside guys playing on 4 different teams. And this past couple years, they decided to bring it back together as a single agency team. And they're very talented. Very talented. Like I would put them up against some of the top major teams, and it would be a coin toss.
Yeah, well, for me to hear you say that and not familiar with the name, I'm excited, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
To hear
you're talking George Reyes, you're talking Ray G. I mean, there's big names out there on those guys.
Oh yeah, yep.
They got the kid that played conference ball. He's not a kid, and he's 30-something years old, but he's good.
Yeah. So how many gold and how many majors?
So right now, so it's 20 total teams. I'm sitting on 9 majors and 11 gold. I can hold up to. So the field of it, we'll talk about the fields, but I can hold up. I can accommodate 12 and 12. So right now I'm at 9 and 11.
Okay.
But each comp. So although it said Poway, there's 2 different complexes. There's Santee and Poway, and they're about 5 miles apart from each other. Each one's got 3 fields. So gold will be in Santee, majors / mids will be in Poway, and the idea is that it's a double. So you play your 2 round robin games, a double elimination playoff, and then the first 5 teams eliminated from gold, they'll drop down to silver for a single elimination, just like the World Series. And the first 5 eliminated from majors will drop down to mids for a single elimination mid majors. So it's a 5-game guarantee.
Copy that.
Complexes, but come Friday afternoon, evening, we all converge back to Poway, and that's where the majors, the gold, the mid majors, the silver, that'll all play out there, and then Masters will start there on Saturday.
Joe, did you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that that NorCal Impact team you were talking about making a statement early on this year. I think that we played them actually in Reno.
Yep.
And it was high school. I think we put up like 60 runs combined.
Impressive guys, man.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
They definitely put on a show. Another thing Jeff said was it seemed like a common theme is teams struggling to get guys. And you said that more than one team. And I mean, I've run into that problem as well. But obviously there's been some chatter on the message board about it as well.
Right.
And you got I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, I don't know exactly what it is, but you see tourneys that have been around for a while folding or not, not happening this year for one reason or another, maybe because teams aren't showing up. You got a tournament like Cincinnati, the 50th anniversary of the national championship. You got 7 teams signed up, so it's I don't know what the answer is. And I read everything online and guys got their opinions and everything like that. But
I'll tell you what, Joe, when we were talking about that, one of the things that I know I would say is that, man, when I first came on, I went and worked areas of town so that I could have Tuesdays off, not a weekend to play ball, but Tuesdays, because that was our designated practice day. And I would also work Fiesta, which nobody wants to work in San Antonio. They want to go to it, drink the beer and eat the food, but not work it. But man, I'd work Fiesta and I would take CT. I'd take comp time just so that I made sure I had the time to make these tournaments, man. And everything was revolved around that. Now, I'm not saying anything about anything other than I enjoyed that. It seemed like the team was more, in tune with that. And my team's pretty good with it. So, not too many complaints, but still, it was just different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, in 2005, before you guys really got involved with the message board and whatnot, this was the discussion, because in 2005, it was the kind of the heyday of police softball. Also on the message board is the heyday of the message board, because there was no Facebook or anything. So the only way to communicate each other was on the message board. And also we didn't make you sign in with your name and stuff, so you could anonymously post on there. So it got really ugly.
Oh, Lord.
But whatever the case was, it would be like 120 messages a day posted on there. It'd be hard to keep up with them all. But whatever the case was, we were right back in 2005 when Geisen back in 2005 were saying, hey, look, I worry about the future of police softball, the next generation, because all the young kids that are coming up don't play team sports anymore. They play video games. They're into extreme sports or motocross, ski, snow skiing and all this kind of stuff that's really big, the X Games and whatnot, right? And they say, because in 2005, it was kind of like we were the young guys, right? We were I'm 50 now. I was still in my prime, but we were looking at the 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds that were coming up and saying, are these guys going to like softball? And I think we're seeing it now where all these 30-year-old guys, it's not necessarily, I'm sorry about the noise, guys. Can you guys all hear all that?
All right. It's
my
family.
daughter came up from San Diego State. She's coming to visit.
That's all right.
So the issue is these guys don't have the love. And I'm not going to name any name, but I bumped into a guy in Newport Beach who's one of the top softball players in the nation. If I had to pick a team, he'd be in my starting outfield. And I said, hey, you going to be the West Conference? He's like, nah, it's like, I just don't have the love for it anymore. And he's like probably 30 years old or something like that. And I'm just like, wow, it's like, I had my wife induced labor early. So this is no joke. You guys think I'm joking. She talked to the doctor. We lied and said I had some kind of big work function. She induced labor early, so I go to Tahoe. And these guys like, I got nothing else going on, but I really don't want to go. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeff, I picked up, you're constantly, losing guys, picking up new guys, trying to get some young guys on the squad. And I picked up a guy last year, young kid, probably like, I think he's like 23, 24, something like that. He came out and he was great. He gloved it, was friggin' awesome in the field, hit the shit out of the ball, and was great. And I thought I'm like, wow, this is great. We got a young kid that knows how to play. He knows how to play the game. And he came out, played Waxahachie with us. He played St. Louis with us. And I had a conversation with him this February where he says it's just too much of a chore, and he's not interested in playing anymore. And this is coming from somebody that's not married. He's got no kids. He's 24 years old, and it's too much of a chore. And like, well, that's just the mentality, man, of some people. And it's just like, it's frustrating, but you move on from people like that.
And this is why all the stuff we're talking about here right now, we saw this. This is no like, oh my God, I'm shocked that this happened. We saw it. We knew the younger kids that baseball is not the thing, right? So I thought, man, Masters is it. Because all of us that still have the love for it still want to play. Now Masters is hitting the tank. Like guys are like, man, I got other stuff going on or blah, blah, blah. I'm really disappointed. I would say in police softball, I've made some very good decisions and projected the way things were going to happen. And I really swung and missed on Masters. And I don't know if we're going to talk about that later, but I swung and missed on that one. I really thought that was going to be the future of police softball.
Yeah.
And four teams. I'm lucky to get four.
And that's why I'm excited about playing Masters. I hadn't really played before. And so, I'm excited for a number of reasons, but that is one of the things is I was like, dude, we're not going to have any problems with the commitment. These guys are established. They love ball. They've been at it for a while. So I'm excited. I haven't had the experience yet. So I'm happy that Joe picked me up and I'm excited to be at it. And like Ruben said earlier, I'm hoping it doesn't go anywhere. I know, Jeff, you got family, coming in. So
yeah, you can hear them all yelling, right?
Yeah, that's all right though. Hey, family first, man. So I'll tell you what, let's go on to real quick, a quick question that we had. Let's see here by Ryan. Ryan Thies, what's going on, brother? San Diego going to be bat provided, Jeff?
So I reached out to Helmer 3 weeks ago, didn't hear back from him. Shot him a text yesterday. He got back to me. He said, how many fields? I said 6. He said, let me see what I can do. Things are backed up right now. So it's still up in the air, but as of right now, plan on bringing your own USSSA bats. And then hopefully we'll get some Eastons to come through.
All right.
And then for Masters, it's definitely bring your own Masters bat, or what do they call them, senior bats. Bring your own senior bat.
Yep. Hey, well, let's get it. We got a comment from Mario here in just a second, but let's go on into the Masters division since we're talking about it. Let's bring these teams up that we got. All right, Jeff, I know we're running out of time with as far as you, because I want to be able to hit the other tournaments plus get your personal training tips coming up. So Go ahead and run this down real quick as far as
I'll make it quick. Northeast Lawman, that's Jimmy's team. That guy's absolutely hurting for players, man. There's no reason why. I mean, remember when this thing first started, New York Metro, the entire team was in. We had Terry Dugan was going to have a team. Terry never committed. Just we kind of assumed he would have a team. Whatever the case is, because of Northeast Lawman, we opened it up because he was going to have to pull out. So he's picking up whoever. I mean, if you've got a heartbeat, Jimmy's going to put you on the team right now. I feel bad for him. Border Patrol Arsenal, those guys should be strong. I mean, they're the defending champion. They take this seriously, so they're going to win this thing. I mean, likely. I mean, I don't know. Midwest Masters, they pulled out, so they're out. McBraun's Legends, they're in. They're going to be good. That's all your LAPD guys. That's all that's going to be a bunch of young 40-year-olds. That's your Mike Snyders of the world. The guy Dave Braun, guys that just turned 40. They're going to be hard to beat. Hardcore 40s pulled out. Brassey's Bullies pulled out. Utah, Colorado pulled out. And then Louisville Slugger. The word is on those guys is they got 2 superstars, second baseman, and some home run champion. But so we'll see. So,
well, the home run champion, man, he's in contract negotiations. Supposedly, he's like he's wanting extra, certain numbers. He wants shoes. Right.
Or you must be talking about Scott Sizer because you ain't talking about me.
Dude, that guy showed out.
Man. It's going to be a great day because you guys are going to start around. I'm just going to throw it out there. Let's say noon. You're going to play 3 round robin games. You're going to play so everyone's going to see everybody, and then a double elimination tournament. Yeah, it's all going to happen because there's only 4 teams in an 8-hour window. So you guys are done by 8 o'clock at night, but you're going to get at least 5 games. Maybe 7 games of softball in. That's a lot of softball in a small period of time. So be ready.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm in it for the camaraderie, and to see these dudes out there, man. These legends, these guys who've been at it for a long time, who share that kind of commitment and passion for the game, man. That's what I enjoy about the Masters. So I'm excited about it. Let's see here real quickly. Mario made a comment that the most difficult thing about competitive softball everywhere is sponsorship. And he followed it up with, teams need travel and lodging covered to put the best product on the field nowadays. And it's interesting because I have heard that often about, man, well, are you covering the rooms? Are you covering this? And man, we just started getting our tournaments covered maybe 3 or 4 years ago. We all pitched in, man. We still pitched in for umpires. We pitched in for tournaments. I mean, it was really pay your own way, so something special.
Here's my comment on that. So what's changed between now and 15 years ago? Because 15 years ago, you have 80 teams show up, right? Travel wasn't free back then. Somehow guys found a way to get there, right? There wasn't, there might have been more sponsors. I think the only difference, maybe not, I don't know. The only difference is that guys, every guy on the team used to work for sponsors, even if it's $500 from the local bar or something. That's an entry fee, right? I see now, generally, it's you're going to have 1 or 2 guys working to get those sponsors, and everyone else along for the ride.
Yep. All right. Hey, Joe, real quickly, Andres says, what age is the minimum for Masters, or does it vary by tournament?
Got to be, you have to turn 40 the year of the tournament. So if you're 39, but you turn 40 December 31st, you qualify.
All right. There you go. All right, man. Well, I want to give a shout out to John Irvin. Thank you for joining us again, brother. Ryan Thies, of course. Thomas Eldridge. Tyler Wilson, my Canadian connection. Tell you what we're going to do is let's go ahead. Jeff, we're going to come right back to you. Let's highlight these other tournaments real quick. All right, man. Hang tight. Go do some push-ups. All right. So, Joe, let's go into the St. Louis Show Me Classic. All right, let's go into that. There's our banner. And if you have not gone into that arch, it's crazy, man. It's like an elevator, elevator's supposed to go up and down. That thing kind of goes at an angle, man. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's creepy, man. It's pretty creepy. I'd say that.
It is.
I'll probably never go back up in it again. I've been up in it so many friggin' times. You do it that many times. You probably. I've done it enough. Put it that way. It's an awesome view, though. You get up there and it's awesome. Look out over the city, and you can see for miles. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was awesome, man. I enjoyed it. I'll probably go back up another time. But I'll tell you what, let's go through the teams real quick one more time. You don't have to highlight each one of them. No, I want to get to some things, but we'll show up the team list real quick. Look at that. Man, that's a great turnout right there, man.
Yeah, so we lost a few teams. We gained a few teams over the last couple of weeks, but we still got a good number. 16 looks good. So I'm excited about the competition level and the teams that are committed to play and to come out to St. Louis. Things are kind of coming together the last couple of weeks. I posted on the message board some details about hotels and whatnot.
We've got those details, Joe. We're surprised you. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what he posted. Now these are your host hotels. Go ahead, man.
LHM is they run a bunch of almost 20 hotels in the St. Louis area. They're awesome. That whole crew is great. They're real, law enforcement friendly. They hook it up with the prices. I mean, $80 a night at the Sheraton is a great deal. 95 at Cheshire. It's usually 200 something. Marriott Airport, 65 a night. I mean, you don't get it's a nice hotel. There's not much in that area besides the airport, but it's a great price for that hotel. But yeah, all those links on there. I just called them today, or I texted them. The regional manager, he added a few rooms because we were selling out on some of them. So he added some to, I believe, to Sheridan is the link he added some to. So, click on there, get them booked as soon as you can, so that if we do need more rooms, I can get them added. If we wait till the last minute, I'm probably not going to be able to add any. So,
yep. And real quickly at that Basso,
yes,
pretty cool little place, man. Kind of like a little dive, but it's neat, man. You wouldn't expect it once you go down there. It's a pretty neat thing, man. I hope everybody comes out to that happy hour there. It's a cool place.
Yeah, Saturday night. I don't know. I'll figure out after I get the bracket figured out. We'll figure out a time for that. But typically it's around 7:30 or so when that starts, and they'll have discounted drinks and food. The food's really good.
Yep.
Drinks are really good. So it's like you said, it's kind of a dive. It's weird when you're walking in there because you're going down this winding staircase, but it's a cool atmosphere. And if you show up, it'll be worth it.
Yeah. And Andrea says Grizzly Bear. That's at the Cheshire. Y'all don't need to stay. That's my favorite place. I'm hoping my team books quickly. But the bear there in the lobby, even if you don't stay there, you got to go check it out. It's pretty neat. Take a little picture with it. I'll tell you what, Joe, let's go to something special that you do that happened to work out this time, and that is the Cardinals game. So you just posted that. Check this out. You want to tell them about it?
Yeah, so the Cardinals, I've been in touch with them. There's a Minnesota Twins, or they're playing the Minnesota Twins that Friday evening at 7 p.m. start. I'm going to get tickets. I put out a message to all the team managers. I need a number from everybody of how many tickets they're going to use to go to that game, and I can get them for everybody free of charge. Now, in a couple of years ago, the reason I say tickets that will be used is because a few years ago, guys would give me a number, and I'd get that number, and then all of a sudden at the end of the day, I'm sitting there with 25 tickets in my hand. So I don't want extra tickets. If you guys aren't going to use them, don't ask for them. Let me know how many you need, and then you'll have them. I just don't want to be stuck with a bunch of leftover tickets that these guys are giving us, and I just want to use what they give us, put it that way.
It's a great environment. I enjoyed it, man. We all got to sit as a group too. So that was neat.
So their Busch Stadium's at full capacity, so there's not going to be any issues with that. There's no mask mandate in St. Louis anymore. Now the ballpark village is directly across the street. I'm still in the process of working out a party as well as this during this game and after the game at PBR like we have typically done in the past. So basically, I'm probably going to leave the game a little bit early. After about 45 minutes to an hour, I'm going to leave, go across the street, get set up over there with some drinks and stuff. When guys want to leave the game, they can come over to the party at PBR. As if people are showing up late into town, they can and didn't get tickets for the game, they can come up to the party. We'll be hanging out for a little while, for a couple hours up there with some free drinks.
Awesome.
And if you haven't been to Ballpark Village, it's a pretty good atmosphere.
Heck yeah, it is, man. One of my favorite places to go to as far as a players party. A lot of options there. Cool part is you can go downstairs. It's right across from the ballpark, and you can go downstairs and got multiple choices of food, huge bar and multiple bars. I mean, it's just a really neat environment. So yeah, definitely got to check it out. One of my favorite tournaments. Anything you want to add? Or are you good?
Well, another thing that was on that list that you just showed was the provided bats. So
let's do it.
Mike Cornell with DeMarini, spoke with him. We're going to get lined up with bats from both DeMarini and Louisville Slugger again this year like we have in the past. I don't have the exact bat models that we'll be using right now. That they what Mike said is that they have a new line coming out in middle of August, or supposed to be debuting in the middle of August. He's attempting to get those bats to debut at the Show Me Classic. Nice. So there's a chance that we have bats that are going to be debuting. No one's ever hit, no one's ever swung before. So either way, it's going to be Louisville Slugger, DeMarini, and those bats have been great the last couple of years. So
awesome. Well, bats are always a hot topic, man, and they're always one of the things that everybody wants to know about. So that's going to be cool. Hopefully it works out, Joe. Hopefully they're able to debut it.
Andres wants a Yadier Molina signed jersey, I'm assuming, or something like that. I'll see what I can do for you, man.
It might be a Joe Monahan, Missouri Lawman jersey, but he'll try. He'll work it out. All right, man. Cool. You good?
I'm good, man.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's. I want to give a shout out again to Elite Sports USA. These guys are going to be sponsoring our Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships, and check this little promo piece out we got for them. And we are very fortunate to be able to have Elite Sports coming in. We got Bart with us. Yep. Bart, that's right. So Bart has graciously, along with Los and all the Elite Sports USA guys, have donated this bat for us to be able to raise money for Shields for Kids. And why drive all the way from California to be here with us?
Well, I mean, Los is a big sponsor of you guys, and you guys debuted the Presidente last year. He takes care of you guys, and he's like, hey, Bart, I need some help. Can you help me out? I'm like, not a problem. Yeah. For you guys, for what you do, and everybody for what they do for us, why not? Yep. It's beautiful out here. It's an awesome tournament. I love softball, and hey, love to help.
Big shout out to Los and to Ryan Vega from the Elite Sports. Check this out. This is the El Presidente. Now that's cool as hell, man. Look at Dell's badge there. Check out that PS.com logo. El Presidente. I got it in the wrapper, man. This is a collector. I'm not swinging it. I'm keeping it, and it's just be one of those things I keep. Check that out, man. So that's cool, man. Super neat. Got it here in the office. One day I'm going to put these things up on the wall. So
don't you got a guy for that, man? You got a guy for everything. Don't you got a guy for that?
Trying to find one that can come in here, and all I've got is like 5 flathead screwdrivers. I think I have a pair of pliers and a hammer. It's about all I got, dude. So yes, you're right. Thanks for calling that out, but it is what it is. I'll tell you what. So that's our Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championship that's going to be coming up here soon. And just so you know, we've got something really special when it comes to the bats. But this is going to be September the 10th and 11th with the Players Party on the 9th. If you guys don't know about Big Al Mack from Kid Craddock in the Morning, he's a radio show personality, and he's got a bar down there. And so we're excited about the offer that he's going to be giving us. And we got a lot of special things going on in Waxahachie. I've got an officer who is talking about once he came to the tournament, his wife loved it so much that they are really considering moving to Texas and retiring and being able to move to Waxahachie. So that tells you something about that town, man. It's a great town, pro police, just pro first responders all the way around, man. It's a great town. We've got our team list. Let's show that team list. We're talking about a national championship. I mean, pretty neat. I'm excited once we start to get a few more teams in to have Jeff come in and comment on these teams. Truly is all over the nation. So I'm excited. That's our team list right now. We got a couple of teams that have expressed that they are pretty damn sure they're coming. And there's one of them in particular I'm super excited about. I'm going to wait to mention them though. But we do have a few that are going to be, that have told me that they're just waiting a quick confirmation and then they'll let us know. So I'm excited about that team list. One thing we did announce was the second host hotel, and that is our Hampton Inn. So we've got the Fairfield Inn and the Hampton Inn. Both of them are less than 5 minutes away from the field. I think they're a great price. Joe, comparable to y'all's is $85 and $89 a night. They're right across the street. So if a team that you enjoy hanging out with, if they book at those, we've already sold one block out at the Fairfield Inn. I think there's only Kings left. So the Hampton Inn, you want to definitely get on the horn and get those rooms reserved at the Hampton. Other than that, you're able to book. There's still a bunch of hotels that are around, but these two are really close. And like I said, man, you're able to visit with different teams. We hung out with Great Lakes last year in the parking lot after it was all said and done. So it was a fun time, along with the Waxahachie pumpkin, and that was cool. Let's see here. I want to just show a quick. Yeah, there you go, Deanna. That's the Waxahachie pumpkin. A whole story behind that one. If y'all haven't watched the video, you need to check it out. Check out this video that came from a couple of these officers from our Keepers of the Peace tournament last year. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, hey, Nate Baez here, LAPD, 23 years, and I am a Keeper of the Peace.
Hi, I'm Officer Zach Biggs from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm a Keeper of the Peace.
I'm Wes from Denver, Colorado with Denver PD, and I'm a Keeper of the Peace for 6 years.
I'm Officer Cook with the Waxahachie Police Department. I've been there for 5 years. I am a Keeper of the Peace.
I am Trini Trinidad, the United States Air Force veteran and a retired 23-year veteran law enforcement officer, and I am a Keeper of the Peace. Please do not comment on those movie star SWAT guys, because every time and this is my video, and whenever I see that, oh my goodness, I'm going to do what I can about getting that thing replaced, but that eats me alive, man. Those guys going through there. I've got a new videographer, by the way, so we're going to make an edit to that. But that is our Keepers of the Peace little video. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to go ahead and move this along. I want to make a really cool announcement that I think is really neat. And I'm excited. I'm going to bring Jeff on for this one. And Jeff doesn't know, but I want to bring him on anyway because he's coming up next with his training tips. So let me bring him on in. Hey, Jeff. All right.
Hey, I'm still here. Although
All
I
right.
got the Pabst Blue Ribbon back.
Is that comparable to Bush Light? There?
No, Bush Light is in a different class.
Lower.
No, man, come on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, I'm interested to see what you say about this. Oh, look at this. Stephen Martin says, was that Chuck Norris? What's going on, Steven? Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I wanted to see what you guys thought about this. I mean, Joe obviously already knows, but Jeff, what I did was with our tournament, with our Keepers of the Peace tournament, I've heard guys say like, man, I want to come down. And I love, they want to come down, but they haven't been able to attend because the 2-state rule is in effect and they don't have a team either coming down, or maybe teams already have stacked lineup and they just don't have any room for somebody. So I know this has come up multiple times on the message board, and it irks me because I am all about like, man, I want people to have a great experience, come for that camaraderie. And also I thought about it a lot, and I said, all right, well, what can I do to just help? Like the Brad Johnson, at one point he was trying to make tournaments and he was like, dude, I have nobody attending. I want to go. But so what I did was I decided to follow the rules that you guys have created that has worked and everybody's accustomed to and are good with. But I just made one little tweak. So for our Keepers of the Peace National Softball Championships, I'm going to allow a wild card, if you will, a one-person open add-on that is not a part of your 2-state rule. So I didn't think that it would make or break a team that, I don't think anyone's going to look at a team and say, oh, they won the tournament because of this one dude. Now, I understand the importance of a pitcher, a shortstop and all, but in the end, which one to me was more important? I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, to allow one dude and possibly even 2, maybe even 3 from one team that says, hey, man, let's go down. We can fly together. We can still room together, but find a team, man. See if somebody will pick you up. And I think it's going to be a neat thing that I'm not stuck to necessarily because it's not, it's not, the World Series, which I understand you can't do that. But as far as with ours, I thought it would be a neat addition. So I'm interested, what you think. Is one player good? Is there any issues that you can see? Or is it something that, especially with a tournament like mine, that I have some flexibility? What are your thoughts on that?
Joe, you can talk first, then I'll tell a backstory as to why we even have a state rule.
Well, my tournament, I've been doing the 2-state rule all except for last year for the last 6 or 7 years because it seems like guys want that. They don't want teams coming stacked. They want to pay the money to travel and do that. Now, the one wild card player, I agree. I don't think that can make or break a team. Now, obviously there's some great pitchers out there that can make a huge difference in a tournament for a team. But other than that, I just don't see one player making a huge difference as far as how a team's going to finish in a tournament.
So you guys weren't around when we did this, but we used to do every year on the message board an April Fool's. And we do it like a full-blown story announcement. I mean, we spent a lot of time on to build the website up. So one year we announced that this is an April Fool's joke, a major sponsor, multi-million-dollar sponsor, was going to sponsor teams, like 4 teams from around the nation. We're going to have 4 all-star teams of the best players in the nation with everything paid for, and they were going to travel around the country and go to these different tournaments and blah, 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 blah. And everybody was up in arms, right? They're like, oh, great. So one of these 4 teams are going to win every tournament, and it's all paid for, right? And obviously it was an April Fool's joke. But the whole idea was you don't want to have that scenario to where the highest dollar wins, right? So the minute you and let's say there was no sponsor, but the minute you say, hey, let's put together a California, New York, Florida all-star team to go to Waxahachie, a team that has never played together before, and they go and they smash everybody and win by 30 runs, stuff like that. What fun is that for everybody else? Which is why we did the state rule. The whole idea is, you can still build a monster team if you're from California because it's big, right? But at the same time, at least LAPD Blue's not going to have biscuit pitching for them or something like that, right? As far as allowing one player for wax, I think that's totally fine. I think every tournament Trini, if you want to make it an open tournament, make it an open tournament. What you have to guard against is if the tournament becomes so important to where we're seeing it now, to where all they care about is a tournament like the World Series. And then you allow it to be, hey man, anybody who can just jump on a team, it's going to happen. The minute you tell Jeff Blair, cause I'm a competitor, right? If you're to tell me, hey, Trini, there's $100,000 grand prize for Waxahachie, I'm coming, and there's no like roster rule. I'm going to bring a team that you've never seen before, just because we're competitors, right? We want to win. So that's what you have to guard against. So as long as you keep it within reason, you go to one. If one is good, is two okay, and then is three okay. What about
and that's
four?
Exactly what I thought about.
Right,
where
right,
I said,
right,
when I thought it through, I said, I can see two people. Let's say you picked up the best, just scenario based. Let's say you picked up the best shortstop and the best pitcher. Now we're our fifth man. I mean, now you're really, that can really change things. And I'm not saying, that even a pitcher can't. I mean, obviously, like Joe said, I mean, that's going to make a huge difference. But at the same time, how many teams have a pitcher? See, I'm in a position where my guy Manny, Johnny, our all-time pitcher, forever, he ended up making rank. Couldn't do it as much anymore. Then we ended up getting Manny to come in and pitch. Well, he tore his bicep in Reno, and never had an injury like that before. So, it helps a team like ours. But everybody, one thing I thought about the Chad Augustines. I thought about the Canadian connection, Tyler Wilson. Brad with these. I thought about those dudes, and I was like, you know what? I want to try to include these guys who don't get an opportunity to go to certain tournaments if they have a 2-state rule. And I thought the camaraderie and the meaning of the game is going to be more than a team that says, if there's one dude you're allowing open, I'm out. Because that's just not what I'm here for, at least, and I do understand that the World Series is a whole different ballgame. Like you said, I mean, that's the World Series. That's a different beast. But Waxahachie, Keepers of the Peace, National Softball Championships, it's an opportunity, is how I saw it, to do something that you can't do because of the history and the foundation of the World Series and what everybody knows of the World Series.
And Trini, just to clarify, the West Conference doesn't have a state rule. You could, in theory, build up this monster team and bring it to the West Conference. And if I saw that happening, I would start changing I would adjust to the rules. But I haven't seen that to date, right? Mm-hmm. But if some guy, like I think John Zintak might be playing with the Hounds, maybe, I'm fine with that for West Conference. It ain't gonna happen to the World Series because there's just too much involved. There's too much money, too much. Guys are expecting a certain level of a certain level of governing and stuff like that. But I tell people, as long as Joe and I talk about, as long as you tell people from the get-go what the rules are, the rules are the rules. I think Joe, you played in like an all forces tournament where you knew you were going against military guys, right?
Yep.
What you don't want, Trini, is guys showing up and like all of a sudden there's a military team and there's civilians and all of a sudden you got bamboozled, you spent all this money to get there.
Yep.
As long as you know what you're getting into, I'm good with all that.
Yep. And to your point, what I did, and I talked to Joe about this, I said, before this airs, I'm going to contact the 11 teams who have committed to make sure that they know, number one, and that everybody has an opportunity due to their prior commitment. And this was only about an hour before the show. I wanted them to know, and I got great feedback. Hey man, we're good with that. We're still coming. I think people understand the importance of what we're trying to accomplish by doing this wild card or whatever. It's an opportunity to have a more inclusive type tournament, and it's only by one player. And I think it's something neat that I'm going to try. And Mario, I really do appreciate your comment, man, because he's saying, good thought, Trini. There's no perfect solution to everything, but if you don't stay creative and think of ways to evolve, participation will continue to decline. And it's one of those things where I contacted these teams. They're good with it. Let's try it this year. Let's get some feedback. Let's see what they say. There's an opportunity to opt out or an opportunity to not even sign up if you feel that strongly about it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And I think it's evident by the people who have already commented and said it's good. So I'm excited about that, man. And that's what I wanted to be able to announce today. So on that note, because I know that we're pushing that time, I want to get to this, to the piece, and I'm excited about it. But I will say this, I'm I'm happy to be able to announce that. It makes me feel good inside to allow a player to come in that wouldn't have the opportunity if not for this wild card rule. So, hey, Tyler, the Canadian connection, the border is open. You said, do you think in a couple of days, you guys got an opportunity now, man? So look into it. And just so you know, Jeff and Joe knows this, I haven't even reached out to anybody. And yeah, I need a picture, but I haven't reached out to anybody. So that's the fairness of the game, if you will. In fact, the people who found out are they could be on the phone now calling people up, and I'm behind the curve. So
I like this. So their competition committee, Joe knows about it. We talked about like a draft. Like, let's say, like, instead of let's say, Trini, you need a pitcher, right? Well, I'm going to call Biscuit the best pitcher in the nation. What if Biscuit were to be available, but you put him in a free agent pool, and then all the managers got together and they could draft based on ranks, with the lowest team being able to pick. All of a sudden, so it changes things, right? Because a lot of the guys, man, I'm only going to come if I can play with a really good team. So that's what happens. I've already seen it happen with that. I've already teased my guys about that. Anyway, I'll let it go, but whatever.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
I love the idea of this free agent draft that Joe came up with. I love that idea. But it goes from the lowest ranked team to the highest ranked team. And the guys, the really good players, they don't like that.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to incorporate that into some kind of a tournament.
I like it, Joe. I still like it.
All right. Well, let's get to this next segment. All right. So we got just personal training tips, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited about this one. I want to get into it. So we are going to get to this picture that we've got. And Jeff, dude, you're ripped, brother. You're ripped.
Yeah,
and I know you don't want to.
Backyard. Yeah, that's back. That's
golf. Oh, it's beautiful, man. Oh, that's
come
beautiful.
Come from my backyard. It's to Harris Creek Golf Course in Orange County, Trini. When you come out here,
Dude, I thought you were at a resort, man. Very nice.
Yeah, no.
Very nice. Well, I'll tell you what.
Right
so, what's that?
That's right behind me. That's the golf course behind me. I'm sitting here right now. That's the golf course behind me. That's
nice. Well, yeah. I know that's where my golf balls are going to end up, somewhere in those trees. I guarantee you.
My windows can hit. I don't golf.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff. If you, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into it. But just give us a quick, a quick rundown on you retired. And now you're into this personal training. Tell me what happened. Tell me how this.
I'll make it super quick. When I was a kid growing up, I got into professional wrestling. Joe knows about it. Missouri had great professional wrestling. You guys had the Von Erichs in Texas. Joe had Harley Race and all those guys. These are the 80s, right? So I was into Animal and Hawk, the Road Warriors, aka the Legion of Doom, because they came on WTBS. They had mohawks. You can see mine. And they were these huge bulking guys. And I was like a skinny little 16-year-old kid. For my 16th birthday, my mom bought me a membership to the local gym. I joined the gym, and I've been a gym rat ever since 1984. Just loved it, right? So I went through this transition to where, like, I loved it so much that I was going to be a trainer, right? A personal trainer. And I got jobs. I got a job at that gym, and then I graduated up to a higher, more expensive gym, kind of like a Lifetime. They're gone now. And I got to meet a bunch of the local cops that train there, Trini. And they said, listen, there's no future in being a trainer, in raising a family and this and that. Come on a ride along. So I went on a ride along with a Tustin police officer. We got in a vehicle pursuit, and I loved it. Like, I go, this is it, man. I was like 19 years old at the time. I go, this is what I want to do. So that weekend, I went and applied to be a reserve, which is at the time a volunteer position. I applied to be a reserve. I went through the whole background process like a full-timer would do. And during my chief's interview, they just fired a guy, and they said, would you want to come work full-time for the Tustin Police Department? And I said, sure. I had a full-time job before. So at age 20, I became a full-blown Tustin police officer, gun, badge, the whole bit, drive my own squad car. I couldn't even buy, like, they would we have revolvers, and they gave us bullets, right? 38 rounds. But I had a backup gun, like a 380 or something. I went to the gun store to buy bullets, and I wasn't old enough to buy the bullets. I had to take in uniform a note from my mom saying, please sell Jeff 380. I became a cop for 31 years, but all along the way, I was a gym rat, so I went through the whole like gamut of, I wanted to be a bodybuilder early. Then I said, bodybuilders are stupid. They're mirror athletes. I want to be a power lifter. And I became a power lifter. Then I got into softball. I said, I want to do functional lifting. And I started doing all kinds, almost like strongman type lifting, kind of stuff John Zintak does. Farmer walks, power cleans, all that kind of stuff. And at age 43, while I was still playing softball, 2011, I got as strong as I ever was. I said, I'm going to go back and do one last powerlifting meet. I went to the United States Police and Fire Games in San Diego, and I set the record in my weight class in the open division. I was 43, but I went in the open division.
Let's show that picture, Deanna.
At the 184 weight class, I hit a 550 deadlift, and I hit a 330 raw bench, whatever. And I walked out of that at age 43, and I went over to the softball field. And I played with that 40 Cal Alliance team. And somebody said, "What's wrong with your eyes?" And I looked at them, and all my blood vessels and stuff were broken. And I realized, like, man, this powerlifting is taking a toll on my body at 43. So I had like an epiphany, a paradigm shift. And I said, listen, I want to, because people were saying, man, you're awfully strong for your size. And I said, I want to look like I live. So at age 43, I took up bodybuilding, not competitive, but I started training like a bodybuilder. And when I retired at age 51, I said, I'm going to go back to my roots, circle back around to that training thing where I knew I wasn't going to make any money. I'm not making any money doing this training. I'm not making any money.
No,
it keeps me busy, and I have, I can take the wife out to dinner once in a while and whatever. Yeah. And, I'm not working that hard. I'm only working, I see 5 clients a day, Monday, Wednesday.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, I can take the wife out to dinner every once in a while as he looks at his golf course in the backyard. Good one, Joe. But go, hey, don't forget, we're all policemen.
I was going to let him keep going.
We're all policemen, bro. But keep going.
That's Tustin PD. That ain't personal training. Personal training is like, a Heineken instead of Pabst Blue Ribbon. The golf course is Tustin PD. Long story short, as I circled back around, I said, I want to get back to doing something I love, because I was just sitting at home when I was retired. And I go, I don't want to sit on the couch all day. I was working out twice a day and stuff. I go, I want to put back. And I'd been studying training and hypertrophy and how to build bigger muscle, how to get stronger, blah, blah. And I wanted to put back, kind of like what you do, training with your thing. You're like, you want to share. I mean, you were on death's bed and you're like, I don't want to go out taking everything that I have with me. I want to push it out, right? So I pushed it out. So I'm doing personal training now. I love it. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I work from 6 in the morning until like noon or something like that. Yeah. And it's been a lot of my time just studying about the recent studies on how muscles grow and how you get stronger and blah, 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 blah.
Well, I'm excited to get to that. I wanted to get to that. So
that's my story.
One of the things we're going to talk about is, and we're going to show a video now, and this is Jeff, and he's doing an exercise called the hack squats, right? And we're going to talk about this. I got some questions coming up. So let's show this video real quick.
All right, shooting for 8 to 10. Love the hack squat, and I missed it during the last 3 months of not having it, so I'm gradually working my way back up. But so this will be my top set of the day, then I'll do back off sets afterward to get some more of it.
What weight are we at?
It's 4.5 plates. I don't know if there's a barbell, it'll be 455. So 455 easier, obviously. Yeah. All right, let's go.
3 sets. Take it out.
All right, so that's more than 2 of me that is hack squatting. So I have our first question coming up on that one, Jeff. As far as the hack squats are concerned, do you recommend this exercise for someone who does not lift a lot of weight when it comes to leg day?
So the answer to that would be like, yeah. So all my new clients that I have, our gym has a hack squat. I love the hack squat because for this is purely there's either we're lifting for function or we're lifting for physique, right? So you want to look better in the mirror, you can't beat the hack squat because it takes all the balance and whatnot out of it. It is hard on the knees. So if someone's got bad knees, I wouldn't recommend it. But 99% of the people that say they have bad knees is just because they don't have bad knees. It's just they're not flexible enough, right? I love the hack squat because you can load it heavy just like a regular barbell squat, and it puts all the emphasis on the quads. So I would definitely recommend it. the clients that I have training right now, I start them with just the sled without any weight on there. And I've got a couple female clients right now, and they're already up to, I think, a 25 and some change on each side. So in 7 weeks, they've been able to add from 0 all the way up to, almost 100 something pounds. So
Nice.
I think I love the hack squats. Yeah.
And I think one thing that's important is to make sure that you have that correct form, because those knees, man, with everything that's connected to those knees, you're doing the wrong form. Maybe your toes are too far out. Maybe your legs are too far out, too far. I mean, you could really mess yourself up. So I think it's important to see a personal trainer, or at least have someone guide you with the correct form, because you can really screw yourself up on something like that, is what I know. All right, let's go to the next question as far as hack squats are concerned. Is this more of a defining type movement as opposed to a mass building movement?
So that's an easy one. So muscles either get bigger or smaller, so they don't get defined or anything like that. So if I'm trying to put size on, absolutely, I'm going to use a hack squat. It allows you to load the weights. The key, and here's my big key, is my T-shirt behind me says it. Most people don't train hard enough. So when they think about defining movement, they think, I'm going to use a little, like a lightweight, and do a lot of reps with it. And if I'm thinking about a mass movement, I'm going to use a lot of weight and that's all BS. So here's the best example I can give you is, the guys that sit at like the Home Depot that dig the ditches and stuff like that, the day laborer guys, those guys do back breaking work all day long.
I agree.
Those guys are jacked, right? Why? Because they do a ton of volume, but none of that volume ever gets to the point where they've stressed their muscles enough to put them under so much tension that it forces the body to adapt, right? So I see with women all the time, they do 1,000 movements with rubber bands around their legs and all this kind of stuff. They look the same day in and day out, like this and that. So like the key to any movement is pushing it to failure or near failure. And by failure means like when you see an involuntary slowing. So if I'm pushing a bar 20 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, I rack it, nothing happened. 20, 20, 20, 18, 17, 14, 13, 11, 3 miles an hour. Everything that happened after 20, those are the reps that matter. And they call those effective reps. And that's like, so when you ask is a mass builder or a defining movement, if I would have stopped that set at 4 reps, it would have been almost like insignificant. At best, it would have done is maintain my muscle mass. Looking at, I just saw it again right now. I probably had another 2 or 3 reps left in me. Now I'm not going to go to complete failure on a hack squat because I don't want to get pinned to the bottom. But if I really, really wanted to push it, I probably had 4 or 5 effective reps there. The rest of those were necessary but not effective. Long story short is mass builder, any kind of squat, any kind of compound movement, provided you go close to muscular failure.
Nice. Good one. Well, I learned something on that one, because I don't normally push myself to failure, but I do like to be functional. And so I'm excited about that. And I saw the wraps, but I'll get with you later on that, or we'll talk about that the next time.
Right.
So I think that's going to be interesting.
That's the main thing. It's on protecting the needs.
Yep. All right. What do we got? Do we have another one on hack squat? I think we do. Let's see. How does this affect you when it comes to playing softball?
Okay. So this is a common kind of misnomers. People think, I'm going to do X to be better at softball. I'm going to tell you right now, the best way to be a better softball player is to play softball, right? You function like you play, right? So the more softball you play, the better you're going to be. That being said, it's always better to be stronger. So if you're going to be stronger, I would always recommend to anybody who wants to improve their performance is the body does 4 things. You have an upper body and a lower body. You have pushing muscles and you have pulling muscles. You could have an effective workout to increase your softball by doing 4 exercises a day. An upper body pushing movement, that would be like a bar dip, a bench press, an overhead press, anything where you press, right? An upper body pulling movement, a pull down, a pull up, a row of any kind, a cable row, a lower body pushing movement, which is like a squat or a leg press, or a lunge, and a lower body pulling movement, a deadlift of some sort. You take those 4 movements right there and do an exercise for each, you will increase your strength and become a better softball player because you trained every major pattern of movement that your body does. Simple enough. You do a pull-up, you're working your back, you're working your biceps, you're working everything. So I think people confuse bodybuilding with performance. They're two different, they're separate, right? So the only thing that bodybuilders and powerlifters have in common is they both use a barbell. Bodybuilders are different. We're talking about looks. Powerlifters talk about moving the weight from point A to point B. Softball's a different thing, right? You're talking about hitting a ball farther. Well, you want to hit a ball farther, go practice on hitting the ball and get stronger in the 4 planes of movement. So
Copy that. Joe, I think.
What other pulling movements you have for the lower body?
So lower body is going to be a hamstring curl, like a lying hamstring curl, a seated hamstring curl, or any variety of deadlift, which could be a trap bar deadlift, a Romanian deadlift, a rack pull where you go on the power rack and you set the pins just below your knees and you pull the top half only. Dumbbell deadlifts, any kind of pull like that off the ground. It's the most basic movement known to man. Cavemen did it, right? They picked up rocks, right? It's the basic movement playing for men. Picking heavy shit up off the ground and lifting it up. That's your lower body pull. Yep.
Copy that. All right. So we'll move on to the next one, next exercise. And Brandon West, want to give a shout out to him. Thanks for tuning in again, brother. And Andreas goes, the drop set life. Gasp. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to the next part for this video. Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, I love that outdoor deal that Lifetime did, man. That's awesome. They should. I'd keep them out there, man. I think it's badass to be able to lift and get a tan while you're at it. Let's go to the first question. What do we got? As far as curls for the arms, is this more of a defining exercise as opposed to a mass building?
So, Trini, it's going to be the same answer. There's no truly defining movement. I mean, either the muscle gets bigger or gets smaller, right? So you're not going to etch a muscle to make it look any differently. So what you'll notice in that video is the last few reps, you saw an involuntary slowing of the bar. So the first, it's not a bar, but it's handles. The first ones were done pretty easily. And the last few you saw in the very last one, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I had to mechanically, I cheated a little bit. So what I did is I changed the leverage. That means I'd hit failure on the current weight. So that, to me, that's failure. I probably could have got one more, an ugly one out. But as far as for the biceps themselves, that's definitely a mass movement. All those movements are mass movements as long as you push them to failure. Now, that being said, that's a single joint movement. So that's an isolation movement. So I just talked about 4 movements earlier. I talked about a squat for the lower body push. I talked about a deadlift for a lower body pull. I talked about any kind of overhead press or bar dip for upper body push. And I talked about a row or a pull. Those are all compound. I consider those, that's the foundation to your house. Those cable curls, that's your window decorations, right? So once you get those 4 done, then you can move on and you can start working on isolation movements such as cable curls and whatnot as you become more advanced. If you're talking about softball only, hey, man, that's a nice accessory movement to have, but it is not necessary. If you want to be a bodybuilder, if you want to look good, you absolutely got to do curls, right? You got to have big arms, right? But for softball performance, stick with the big 4. If you got some extra time afterwards, throw in some bicep curls, throw in some calf raises, throw in some tricep kickbacks, something like that.
Yeah. What's the difference between going to failure using heavyweight versus lesser weight? Is there a difference?
I got a great answer for this. So, Joe, this is what I do all day now. Sit around and read shit, right? So the latest study said it doesn't matter. So they did a study as long as you're using at least 30% of your max, which is about 30 reps, or no more than 90% of your max, because you're only going to get like, I think 6. So if you go anywhere between 6 reps and 30 reps, as long as you get failure for hypertrophy purposes, growing muscle, it's all the same. So it doesn't matter.
So basically what you're saying is, the way I'm hearing what you're saying is you go heavier because you're doing less weight, less time. Am I right? I mean, you're going to end up with the same result either way. The same result. So I'm a fan of more repetition, especially on the isolation movements, because you don't want to blow a bicep out doing a preacher curl, right?
But it's something like on like a pull-up or something, I might want to strap a 45-pound plate and do like 8 reps or something like that. I'm probably not going to blow something out that way, right? But yeah, you're definitely going to increase the likelihood of injury once you start working 6 or below reps. So you start going to triples and doubles and guys maxing out. That's when you see guys, there's so much tension on the muscle. They blow a pec or something like that, torn pec muscle or something. So purely for hypertrophy, for beauty purposes, like cosmetic purposes, I recommend working in the teens. And the older you get, this is something, Trini, you need to like adhere to. This is something like it's now accepted practice. Older you get, you raise your rep range. Lower, if you're a young guy, you can still probably work 6, 8 reps, something like that. If you're talking about building muscle, the older you get, start working in the higher rep range.
I like that because
double digits generally for me, 10, 12, that range. Yeah.
And that's what I like because for me, my joints, that'll be the problem. And so for me, it's all about protecting the joints so I can still be mobile, because I've noticed a difference between when I start to lift heavier, less reps, man, I have more issues with that. Now I got small wrists, I just know my body now. And at 51, I know what my body reacts to, and I still want to go run. I still want to go hit. So it works best for me. But I always wondered, Joe, and that was a great question, because there are dudes that go into the gym and they're in and they're out. And I'm like, how in the hell? The dudes look great. And I'm like, how in the hell do they do this? I mean, I understand nutrition, but as far as workouts, I'm like, damn, man, these dudes were in and out. It always amazed me. And I've never put as much time into it as far as reading and all that, but it always amazed me. And that makes sense, Jeff, with what you're saying.
Yeah. So Trini, here's a mind hack I just want you to think about. Next time, when don't think about like, how much can I don't use the bench press because it's a bad movement for me, but let's say bench press. People say, how much you bench press? Joe, I bench press 320 pounds. Don't think about it that way. Think about what is your best 10 rep bench press. And instead of thinking about, I want to increase my max bench press to 330, think about, I want to do 225 16 times. That's what you need to think about, like increasing you got to force your body to adapt, right? So you got to push it beyond what it's accustomed to. But you don't have to do that by adding more pounds to the bar. You can have more repetitions. You can cut down on your time between sets. There's all kinds of different ways to increase the intensity to add that progressive overload. So my whole mantra in my training is train, progress. This is my shirt. I'll show it to you. Train, progress, recover, repeat. If you do those 4 things, you're golden. Train really effing hard to where you're hitting failure. Progress every week. You're going to add another rep or you're going to add another pound to that bar. I don't care if it's 1 pound. Recover, eat well, sleep, blah, 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 blah. And repeat. Just keep doing it. You're gonna succeed. It's
cool.
A fact. Yeah. That's it.
Nice. We'll go to the next question, but I think you've already answered it. We may just skip it. Should we do this exercise after mass building exercise or save it for a separate day? Same thing, right?
You already bodybuilding, you gotta do it. If you're doing it for softball, it's a nice accessory.
Cool. Then I think we'll skip the next one. And real quickly before we can skip that one. We'll go to the last exercise, but I do want to mention real quickly that we've got Lynn Killian in here, and she says, hello, thank you for that video you sent D about his bro. So I'll tell you what, Jeff, you want to talk about the support of us as law enforcement, but then also in police softball. Dan Potter had a raffle for a couple of fallen officers, and my buddy Dwayne, he joined, he asked, he goes, however many tickets are left, I'm going to take them. Dude doesn't play softball. Just an awesome officer, very influential when I was a younger cat on the department, and says, hey, I want whatever's left. Well, Dan had already sold it out. He still donated a significant amount, turned around on the next raffle and bought a bunch of tickets, ended up winning a bat. And then he ended up saying, hey, Trini, you got yourself a new bat, man. And I'll tell you what, one of the things I will mention is that, and this is a quick little deal, is y'all know my struggle. Y'all know what I've gone through with my couple of bouts with cancer. Dwayne's brother just got great news. Dwayne was transporting his brother back from Houston, from MD Anderson. They found out that the tumor that he's been trying to get rid of showed today that it was that it was clear. He still has a couple of treatments left, but such wonderful news. Yesterday, I had a lieutenant from our Bexar County Sheriff's Department call me who just got diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I help people who are just getting a diagnosis, but it was an awesome thing today to be able to celebrate somebody who is on the way to recovery. And so it was awesome, man. We made a quick little video, and Lynn and Dwayne, thank you guys for who you are and for what you do. And Dwayne, another shout out, man, for supporting us in police. They don't even play ball, man, and still supported us. So that's great support for us in law enforcement, but then again for police softball. So that's awesome, man. We'll go into the farmer's carry. Let's check this video out.
All right, a little shout out to my homies from New York PD. From the east. Do some farmer walks here.
What weight is that, Jeff?
So 205. So we go just over body weight. I weigh 190. So this is about 15 pounds over, right?
Solid.
So we're going to take it about 60 yards up and 60 yards back. And this is the way we finish our work. See you in a bit, Erica.
Two things. I like seeing a bit, Erica, and I like stepping down off the curb. I love that farmer's carry. I love to do that. I love to do it with traps, with that particular piece of equipment, but I also love doing that farmer's carry. I do it down the street with weights, and people probably look at me like I'm nuts, but I like it. Let's go to the first question real quick. I do the farmer's carry, and I love it. Is this for the intermediate lifter or the more experienced lifter?
It's for everybody. So, if you could pick, this is Jeff Blair speaking, my opinion. If I can only do one exercise the rest of my life, like God said, hey, look, you can't lift weights. You can pick one exercise, farmer walks.
I like it.
Farmer carry, it works the whole body, right? So it doesn't matter if you've never lifted weights before or if you're Mr. Olympia. If you're picking one movement, farmer walks. It works the whole body. It's functional. It's doing what your body's meant to do. Pick heavy, caveman stuff, right? Pick up a rock, carry it, bash a saber-toothed tiger in the head, whatever it is. You can't get more basic than that. So, and in this one is actually when I hate to say functional because everything's functional, but this one actually has more carryover, more so than like a cable curl like I just did. That one right there, because it works your grip, your forearms, your traps, your backs, your legs, the whole bit. So more carryover to the softball field than a traditional bodybuilding exercise. I like to program those at the end of a workout because when you get done with those, if you do them hard enough, you're in a corner, whimpering like a baby if you do it right.
Yep.
So,
yep. Yeah. Oh, and your forearms are on fire. Jay Garcia, I want to give a shout out to my teammate Jay, our teammate Joe with the Masters Division, but on SA Law, my teammate always keeps things light in the dugout. All right, cool. Let's go to my wife says, I'll just stick to the Peloton.
How is that thing?
Those are fun.
Dude, awesome. It's awesome. She hits it. She hits it just about every day and great view out the window. And it's awesome because it's, if you need to, you get that workout in and you're on the way, it's a great smooth cycle on it. So let's go to the next question real quick. Does this put a lot of strain on the back?
Okay. So no, you shouldn't, because if you lift up the weight right, your back stays straight up and down. You lift with your legs. Most people want to bend over and hinge at the hips and pick it up. That's how you're going to put strain in your back, right? So as long as I always tell people, imagine you're sitting down like in a rocking chair or something. You don't bend over at the waist. You just drop down with your legs. So drop your ass down, pick it up, stand straight up and down. Don't arch over in the front, and you're fine. You're not going to get hurt. Yeah, you're not going to get hurt doing that as long as you stand straight up and down and walk like you normally would walk.
And again, to me, you can do this on your own. You can watch videos. YouTube's a great resource and all. But, man, if you really want to protect yourself, I suggest going to see a personal trainer, man. Even if it's just for a little bit, just let the person guide you, man. Let them show you those foundational, because I think it carries over to other exercises. If you keep your back straight, you're doing the correct form in one, it probably will carry over to a different exercise. It's a variation, but you'll keep those core principles in mind, and I think it'll help you to stay healthy. Let's go to the next question. Right. I understand that you do this at the end of the workout, but what purpose does it serve when it comes to the grand scheme of things? You already answered it. It's full body. Yeah, it's everything. Yeah.
It's everything. And you can program, Trini, you don't have to do that just for like a one lap thing. You can do like sprints with it. You can do like 10 sets where you go 20 yards, rest 30 seconds, 20 yards. You could make it a cardio type exercise too. That's what's so great about that. You can program it however you want to program it. You can go really heavy. You can go lighter with more reps, more. Yeah. It's great exercise.
Awesome. Next one. Are we done? Good. Oh, do you recommend using this piece of equipment for the traps?
If you have access to it, it's easier, right? Because I don't know if you guys noticed in the video, it keeps the weights away from my sides. My hands are. If I just do it with dumbbells, which you could do, those dumbbells are banging against my quads as I'm walking with them. It makes it more difficult. So it's I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it's nice to have a trap.
Yeah. I like it. Is that it, Deanna? I think we're. Oh, and one quick last one before we let you go. And that is, I'm trying to find the comment, but Andrea said he really would like to get a list, and maybe you can do that next time, of supplements that you would suggest. So I think that's going to be a good thing. Little cliffhanger, if you will, for the next time, man. Next time you come on, man, I'm interested in the supplements. So I would like to be able to have a list of supplements that you recommend. And here's the main reason that I want to know about supplements. I go into GNC or wherever, you go buy our supplements. Dude, I go in for a pre-workout and there's like 30 different pre-workouts.
Right.
What sucks is that I can't stand the ones that are like, Mr. Muscle Pump or Electrifying Pump. And it's like, man, I already get the feeling these dudes they're just getting you on the label. And I don't know what's
the label. You know that, Trini. You're paying for the label.
I'm trying to, but then again, I look at things like, and I don't know, I'm throwing it out there. Let's say Herbalife or whatever. I have a hard time navigating through all of that. And admittedly, I don't do the research. But I do trust certain brands because I see them across the board. I see people that I know use them, but they don't have as much of an effect. So I'm interested, Jeff, that maybe you can work on a few core supplements.
I'm not a brand guy, man. Bulksupplements.net on Amazon. It's everything you need. There's no flavors. There's no colors. You just it tastes like chalk, but you get what you get, man. It's just pure stuff. We'll talk about that later.
Cool. Deanna, please make a note of that. What's it called again, Jeff?
Bulksupplements.net. You can get it on Amazon. Bulk supplements. It comes in like a garbage bag. You're not paying for any labeling. They save their money because they don't have they're not sponsoring Mr. Olympia, right? Yeah. It's got a stick figure on there. That's their guy. You get pure product.
All right, cool. Well, hey, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us again. And like I said, I'd love to have you back to be able to talk about the teams that are attending our tournaments. Give us a rundown like you did, with the West Conference Championships.
West Conference follow-up. We're going to follow up with the champion, the Louisville Slugger Masters World Champions.
Got the best ring to it.
Why are you laughing?
Got a nice ring to it.
All right, Jeff. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy your family, and we'll get back with you, brother. What's that, Jeff? Got you. Go ahead. All right, man. I'll see you.
See you, brother.
Hey, again, one more time, Bobby Lambert. Happy birthday to you, man. Great dude right there, Minnesota lawman. Yep. And I'm excited to be able to have those dudes here in Waxahachie. So, all right, Joe, it's a great show, man. I'm excited to be able to highlight our tournament, the new things that we talked about. And I'm looking forward to, doing a recap on the West Conference Championships. So appreciate you again, Joe. Thank you so much for making it happen tonight. I know you were rushing, and it was an awesome thing to have you again. It's not the same without you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for being able to tune in. It's Trini Trinidad for the Police Softball Podcast. Thank you so much. And don't forget, man, I got your 6.